Okay, so we were going over the portal today. We were, and I promised everybody online this past Thursday's episode, we're going over the portal. Then some things started developing after Thursday's episode of Pigskin Frenzy involving one subject and a huge topic and a huge thing that needs to be fixed in our sport. It's called tampering. And we are going to discuss that on Pigskin Frenzy. We're going to discuss it, have our whole episode based off of it, and discuss what tampering is and discuss the latest on the Clemson and Ole Miss thing. And that will segue into our episode on Thursday, which will be the transfer portal recap. So just wait a couple of days. That's all I ask. Just wait a couple of days. This episode is going to be worth it. You're going to enjoy it, I hope. And then Thursday, we will discuss the transfer portal and recap the portal like everybody has been wanting to. We will do that, but we'll discuss the tampering stuff first on this episode. Guys, welcome to Pigskin Frenzy on this beautiful and very chilly Tuesday afternoon. Thank you for joining us. I'm Joel Norris, and whether you're watching on YouTube, listening on Spotify, Podbean, or Apple, a big thank you for taking some time out of your Tuesday to just sit back, watch, and listen to some college football coverage presented by me. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, like each episode, leave comments down below. Spotify, Podbean, Apple, all you got to do is just share around with others and follow on there as well. X and Instagram is at pigskin_frenzy. The website is www.pigskinfrenzy.weebly.com. Guys, we are at 6,500 listeners and counting on all audio platforms. Guys, we're not only at that, we're at 77,000, about to be at 78,000 channel views on YouTube. Guys, a huge thank you for tuning in each and every Tuesday and Thursday, because without you guys, we would not be doing Pigskin Frenzy. We would not be in college football media, and without you guys, we would not have a show. So we are so thankful for you guys, and we're so thankful for your support. Most importantly, not only that, we can't do this without our Lord and Savior, Jesus, because without Jesus, we would not be in college football media. We would not be on this platform spreading his great name across all platforms and glorify him in the process. So, it's the best decision you can ever make in your life, coming to know Jesus. If you want to come to know Jesus, guys, X and Instagram is at pigskin_frenzy. And not only that, I mean, the website's www.pigskinfrenzy.weebly.com. Just talk to me down there on the Home and About Me page. If you want to come to know Jesus, it's the best decision you can ever make in your life. He is amazing. He is so good. We give him all the glory, all the praise for what is happening in this sport with us and being involved in the sport with Pigskin Frenzy. We're just going to keep climbing and climbing. We are so thankful for our Lord. Guys, college football has a lot of things, like I kept saying after the national championship, which was last week. I said last Tuesday that there's a lot of stuff that needs to be fixed. I said on the postseason Q&A this past Thursday, there are some things that need to be fixed as well, like the calendar. Overall, that's a huge thing that needs to be fixed, right, in the sport. 100%. You look at that, but involving the calendar, you got the transfer portal and NIL. And in one of those big things, when you have the portal, when you have the NIL, and you don't have any right structure to it, you don't have necessarily any abiding rules and structure, then things that are really unprohibited take place. This has been taking place in college football since before the portal. All right. It's just very rare because of the strict transfer rules back when I was growing up. Because back when I was growing up, if you transferred, you're sitting out a year and then you're playing the next season. All right. So that was the transfer portal, or not really portal, but that was what happened if you transferred back then. It could cost you eligibility and all that. Now, the portal, ever since 2018, this particular thing started rapidifying and amping up a little bit. Okay, it's just with grad transfers, right? Now the portal has, I mean, my God, it has undergrad, right? It has, undergrad from a freshman to not even a freshman. You don't even have to play. You can sign to a team and then get out of your national scholarship financial aid or whatever, your scholarship aid letter to go transfer into a portal and go somewhere else. You don't even have to sit. Julian Sayin did that. He was a red shirt, and when Nick Saban retired, he went to Ohio State immediately. So that's how the transfer portal works and how it operates. We're going to talk about the portal on Thursday. We always have a recap for the classes for the transfer portal, and then the next week is going to be very fun because the next week we're going to do high school recruiting. So high school recruiting is going to be next week, all week next week, which is going to be fun. We're going to cover National Signing Day on Pigskin Frenzy for next week's episodes. And before we get into our top 50 games of the 2025 season and move forward into 2026. But let's talk about the one allegation and the one thing that is kind of okay. It's the NFL does it, but if you look at the NFL, they have a legal window to do it. We're going to get into that as well. The subject is tampering, and tampering is a huge deal. And if you're doing it in a way of, I mean, tampering is not good regardless. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to sit and say it's the right thing. You need to get players as much as you can. I mean, look, get it the right way, right? And do it the right way. But there's also a way to where you can talk to other players, like in the NFL. There's a legal window before the new league year hits, before free agency officially opens. There's a legal window to where if you are, okay, I'm going to test free agency and see what happens, you're allowed to have a grace period, like a legal tampering window with other teams, to where you can discuss teams that are kind of under contract, right? Kind of under contract until free agency hits, right? It's a legal window. That's a rule. It is a National Football League rule. So in college football, we don't have that rule. All right? There's no rules on this. So it's different because you also got schools involved. You got enrollment in classes and, hence the term student athlete. It is all there. It's all there still. So that's what the barriers are with this. Tampering. If you want to know what the Google definition is, we're going to talk about tampering and discuss everything. So, without any further ado, we'll break it down piece by piece. What is tampering? We're going to talk about, how to fix it as well, because it's pretty rough. And then we're going to give you my thoughts on what is transpiring with tampering, the latest on the tampering stuff. Or we'll just, flip-flop that and do the latest, then we'll do backwards. So, what is tampering? So, tampering is in college football refers to this is the Google definition, refers to the prohibited practice of coaches, staff, or boosters contacting and recruiting a student athlete currently enrolled at another university before the player has officially entered the NCAA transfer portal. It often involves luring players with NIL offers to switch schools, functioning as a backdoor free agency system in the transfer portal era. And it is, yes, my friend, illegal to do that. It is not correct to do that. It's one of those things with a portal. Sorry for the long pause. It's one of those things with tampering that is so. It's one of those things that you get under. It gets under your skin. And it's like with other players, like other schools, it gets under your skin, but it's also like, what are we, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, what are you going to do about it in a way, right? And the schools they can report, but what is the NCAA going to do about it? And I keep saying that about the NCAA, and that's not really, I don't know if that's really a knock per se, but it's the truth. Like, what are they going to do about it? We're going to talk about that here in a little bit, but that's what tampering is. It's just a prohibited practice that coaches, boosters, schools, teams do, and when they contact another player that's not even in the portal yet, and that's enrolled at another university. It's not good, right? Did it happen back in the day before like the portal opened up and it was like the BCS and early CFP 4-team era of playoffs? It did happen. It's not like it was now. Let me put it that way. It did happen a lot though. Obviously, it's been happening. Tampering in college football has been a thing. It's existed for a long time, obviously, and a lot of people have gotten away with it. I'm not going to sit there and tell you that I'm, like, look, I may not know my mathematics or I may not know my science, but I'm not I'm smart enough to know where I know that there's that shady stuff goes on behind the scenes before all this stuff has transpired. Back when I was growing up, there was a bunch of shady stuff that happened behind the scenes that a lot of people didn't know about. People were getting paid to play football back in the day, right? So it's nothing. It's just it's all in the open, and paying the players is legal now. Now tampering is still bad. It's still against the rules, but it's all still now. It's more out in the open. The latest in tampering right now, and this rule, right, is kind of why Nick Saban retired a little bit. This is kind of partially why he retired. It's like civility is done, right? For college football, like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? We're just gonna go out and start taking players that are in other schools, right? Already enrolled. It's beyond me. It really is. It's beyond me. So that's what tampering is. Let's talk about the latest situation that's going on in tampering, and I'll give you my thoughts on it, and then I will tell you how we can fix tampering. It's going to be like a 30-minute episode, not going to be too long, kind of like how it was Thursday. So the off-season episodes are great episodes, so they're just a little bit shorter. So keep on commenting down below. Comment on YouTube, comment on Podbean, Spotify, Apple. Keep listening and plugging into Pigskin Frenzy on all platforms. Man, the latest allegations of tampering that happened right now. That's why we're going to talk about it, because I released a tweet. We got to talk about everything and unpack this on Pigskin today. And then we'll segue into the portal episode on Thursday. So with tampering, with what's going on, the latest allegations, it involves Clemson and it involves Ole Miss. I don't know if y'all heard about it. It's only been reported a bunch of times all over X and or Instagram or Facebook if you're on there as well. If you're on all social media platforms, it's on there. Trust me, it's on there. So it's on. People have been writing stories about it as well. So if you look at everything, Clemson head coach Dabo Swinney, and here's a press conference with a stack of files and papers and statements. And there was a linebacker by the name of Luke Farrelly, linebacker transfer from Cal. Clemson has decided to finally use the portal, by the way. They still have used the portal after this a little bit, but this is kind of the reason why Dabo hates the portal. And I can understand why. I can understand where he's coming from. You have to still use the portal. Regardless of this, you have to still use it. But I can understand why he does not like the portal because of this stuff. It messes with the integrity of our sport. And like stuff like this does. Understandable. 100%. Luke Farrelly, linebacker from Cal. He entered the portal. He transferred to Clemson, and they've been doing kind of, I wouldn't say great in the portal, but they've been utilizing it. So Luke Farrelly signed with Clemson. He's already signed. He then enrolled and had classes already there. He was attending schoolwork, classes already at Clemson. And all of a sudden, we see he was Defensive Rookie of the Year from Cal in the SEC. He signed a financial aid agreement with Clemson. He moved to campus and classes, and he participated in workouts, team meetings, and classes. He participated in all of it. He was a full-fledged student at Clemson. And then while Farrelly was in class, during an 8 a.m. class, according to Dabo Swinney in Clemson, Farrelly was in class, and he received a message from Ole Miss head coach Pete Golding, sending him a NIL contract of up to $1 million. And he wasn't going to. He said he wasn't going to do it. Things roll past. Pete Golding and Ole Miss up the offer. He gets the offer, and he ends up deciding to up and leave and re-enter the portal. After a bunch of communication went on, he upped the offer. He finally tells Tom Allen and Dabo Swinney that he's entering the portal. He commits to Ole Miss on January 22nd, and now Luke Farrelly is now at Ole Miss, and he will be at Ole Miss, and he will be a part of the Ole Miss football team come spring and fall, most likely. Luke Farrelly is on that team now. So all that to say, those are the allegations, everything going on. That's the whole back and forth. Ole Miss has declined to say anything, which is they should get a head on that shortly, because I would want to know what's going on as well. Swinney has made the allegations public. He detailed it in a press conference. He also submitted the evidence to the NCAA. And the Clemson athletic director, also Graham Neff, has also mentioned exploring the legal options as well for this. So Clemson's doing all their part. They're reporting it. They're sending evidence into the NCAA. There is no word on Ole Miss decided yet. We will see what happens in the socials coming up soon. Maybe we'll see what happens. I don't know. But my thoughts on all this is, yes, I see where Clemson's coming from. Yes, it is wrong. It is 100% wrong, and it makes you not want to use the transfer portal. Number one, you still got to use the portal. You have to, because that's how you are going to become more successful in this day and age of college football. Clemson has to still use it. That's one. Number two, Ole Miss fans, and this is not me knocking at Ole Miss or fans or anything like that. Ole Miss fans were complaining about like Lane Kiffin and complaining about him poaching some players from LSU and all that. Now they're doing the same thing to Clemson. So my honest thoughts are this, and this is not me trying to knock Ole Miss. It doesn't make it right or anything. What Lane Kiffin probably did and what LSU probably did wasn't right. What you did with Luke Farrelly wasn't right. It wasn't right. But the thing is, here's the deal. Everybody's doing it. Everyone's going to say, oh, you're going to blame, you're going to talk about this. Y'all are a bunch of hypocrites and all that. It's hypocritical, but that's how it is in a sport because everybody's doing it. You can name a bunch of people doing it. It's just not out in the open. It's not out in the open. A lot of people are getting away with it. There's a lot, dude. A lot. And I mean a lot of schools doing this. It's not just Ole Miss and Clemson. So a lot of people are going to say, oh, no, we don't tamper. We don't do it. And there may be a few schools that don't. But I'm pretty sure there has been at least a line, a fine line of tampering involved in some form of recruiting in the portal. There's no way there's not been. Now, this is just the only one that's been kind of a big to-do over with Clemson and Ole Miss. And it's just kind of just the volcano is going and shaking, and then the lava just started spewing out, right? And I think that's what happened here with Clemson and Ole Miss. The lava just came out. And Clemson's fed up. That's why Dabo Swinney does not like the portal. That's why it doesn't kill the integrity of the game. So, and I 100% agree with that. I do think Ole Miss should step up and make a statement. That's just my deal. But we'll see what happens. But it's a huge deal. And there's a lot of people doing it in this sport. So, if you want to know how we can fix it and how we can stop it, because I wholeheartedly believe this is another thing in the sport that needs to be fixed. I mean, this is a big part of the portal structure, right? Is this. It really is. It's getting so crazy that you're going to talk to kids outside of the portal who hadn't even entered the portal, and you're not supposed to do that, one, but they're not even in the portal. They're not even considered leaving. They weren't even considering transferring to another school. They were happy and content where they're at, but you're poaching players to get into the portal and join their team because of money. So, one, that's why we need a salary cap. Two, that's also why we need to structure the portal a lot better, and tampering is a huge reason why. Huge reason why. We need to fix it. Now, here are the things, and I would think, right, of what needs to be done. I mean, there needs to be a set of rules, right? There needs to be potential consequences for tampering. So, I mean, back in the day, before I get into this, back in the day, if people were doing this stuff back in the day, when I was growing up, they would miss postseason. They would have a postseason ban for like 2 to 3 years. They would have scholarships taken away, a big amount of scholarships taken away. They would have wins vacated. They would have a lot wrong. It would be a huge punishment for doing stuff like this. Now it's just a slap in the wrist, or they don't do anything. They just let it go. That's why I say that the NCAA is a little bit broken, and I still think that. So, I mean, we can sit here and say about the NCAA and all that. I've said we needed a committee for a long time. We'll talk about that here in a little bit in the end, but let's talk about what needs to be fixed with it. So, for 20 minutes in the episode, let's talk about what needs to be fixed with this. So, here's how we can really fix it. So, stricter penalties, right? If you want stricter penalties on everything, that's how you do it. In my notes, I would say, actually, and I mean a key word there, key word, actually doing something, enforce punishments for the schools and coaches. And what I mean by that is lay down the punishment for coaches, lay down the punishment for whoever's involved. Actually get involved and do something about it. Like, okay, so stricter penalties. Say it was a level 1 or a small violation or whatever of tampering, suspension, fining, a couple of scholarships. Yes. If it's level 2, more fining, obviously, and then just increase the punishment. And if it's the level 3, like a huge violation, it's a bunch of huge amount of tampering, right? And not only that, it's crazy amount to where it's just borderline. Just, I mean, it's illegal. You can't do it. Breaking just rules left from right. Obviously, you suspend them. Not just suspend them, you take away games or you postseason ban them. I mean, I think that's the way we should go about it. I think we should go back to doing that. It's not fair because you're supposed to recruit fairly, and that's the whole part of coaching. A whole part of coaching is to recruit fair, recruit with honor, and not really recruit with honor. Earn your way to building your team. And that's how you earn it. You recruit and you sell people on the program and sell people your vision, and you're a salesperson as a coach. That's what you're supposed to be doing. So do that. Sell them yourself, and sell them the school, and sell them your vision, and then therefore they're going to come to want to play for you legally and ready to rock and roll and help be a part of a team that's building, right? So that's what coaches need to be doing. But instead, they do stuff like the Ole Miss Clemson situation, and it's not right, and they get away with it. That's the way how college ball is right now. And I don't like using this term, the way of life term. That's just the way of life now. It doesn't have to be. It just doesn't have to be. So you enforce strict penalties, stuff like that, and probably a level 1 to level 3 violation type penalties. Because if the NCAA is not going to get involved, somebody needs to get involved. That's why we need a committee to get involved, and we need to build this up so we can have rules like tampering and set up, like tampering rules and set it up. That's one for me. I mean, obviously, to me, if it involves NIL, which it will involve NIL, you got to protect the player. Not only protect the player, for tampering, right? If you do tampering, if you tampered somebody and that player goes to that school, you're going to have to pay their full buy. You're going to have to just pay a lot of buyouts, right? Player protections need to be a thing. So, if you require schools to honor scholarships and or pay the buyout, right? I think that needs to be implemented in tampering as well. So that's another. We need to have like the NFL does. I think there's another thing. We need to have what the NFL has, and that is a tampering window, a legal window. So if you want to do it legally, right? So that's an alternate option, because I just said level of violations, right? If you want to have a legal window, do a legal window, right? Do a legal window like the NFL does it. If you want to do a form of tampering, just do it legally. Have a legal window like the NFL does before free agency hits. So that's another option of way you can try to balance it out and fix it. To me, I think that if you don't want to do the legal aspect of it and do the window, just end up abolishing it altogether and having a strict set of rules. If you do it, you get punished, right? And I think That's the only way to do it. I mean, if you don't want any tampering involved or anything like that to protect the integrity of our sport. Those are some fixes, and those are some situations and things that I would recommend for tampering violations, and just overall fixing the rule and, just helping it all, right? So if you want to go the legal route, like I said, if you want to go the legal route window, have a tampering window up until that day, and then you're good. If not, enforce the rules to where it's a suspension for a coach, a fining for a coach. You need to, the actions have consequences. It's not right to do this, especially when other universities are involved. When it comes to academics, they're involved, because academics, that's the key there. They're still students, and they got to get classes fixed and everything else. I know you're thinking about football aspect, and you should be, because that's your job, but you also got to think a little bit about the academics as well. So, yeah, it's pretty rough. So enforce stricter penalties, like a suspension, like a heavy fine. Even if it gets bad enough, do postseason ban or do a take away games and strip wins away. And that's because it should be like that. It should be like a little bit of an old school college football approach, to where if you get punished for something, actually get punished for something. Here's my deal. We're almost out of time on this, so on this episode. So here's my deal on everything. If with the Clemson and Ole Miss situation, my honest thoughts about everything. Do I think that tampering should get fixed? Yes, I should. I wholeheartedly think it should get fixed. Do I think that it is going to get fixed anytime soon? I bet it doesn't. And I'll tell you why I bet it doesn't. Because what else is getting fixed? You know what I mean? And I mean that with the wholeheartedness of from the bottom of my heart. I mean this because I'm a guy who loves this sport. I'm the prodigy of college football, for crying out loud. I want this sport to evolve even more. But let's be real, dude. Let's be frank here. What's being fixed? There's no structure in the portal. There's no salary cap on NIL. The calendar definitely needs to be fixed. But let's just fix the playoff. That's going to do everything. It's not going to do everything. You're dragging the calendar out even longer. So, stuff like this, in terms of recruiting, and because this is a recruiting violation. So, in terms of recruiting, we need to have things in order with it and have strict order with everything. The NCAA is not doing anything, and I don't think they will do anything. This is why I say, and I keep bringing up the NCAA, it's broken. They're just broke. And when I mean broke, I don't mean money. I mean just literally, there is a broken system. It's a broken system. I mean, who's gonna who up there is gonna do anything? They didn't do anything with the Michigan sign stealing allegation. They didn't do anything with a lot of other stuff either. And it's not me hating on the NCAA. It's not. I just wish the NCAA would do something. I really do. I wish they would do something. But nobody's doing anything about this stuff. There's no fixing anything. And there's a lot of things that need to be fixed. And this is one of them. This is a huge deal. This can make or break teams. And if you do it the right way, which is doing it with someone that's actually in the portal and is only verbally committed, even if it's okay to flip somebody and change somebody's mind. If they haven't signed dotted line and they're just verbally committed, still talk to them. I would still go and approach them, yeah. But if they're signed, enrolled, and in class, like, for example, a Luke Farrelly, it's over, dude. It's over. I think there's a thing where once you sign out of it, you're locked in. I think that's another thing you can add to it. You're locked in. If you sign the dotted line, here's my little clicker, my pen. If you sign the dotted line, you're there for at least a season. And if you want to enter the portal, then your contract's up. Enter the portal if you want to. That's my deal. But don't get somebody that's already under contract when you're not supposed to be talking to them anyway, who's already in class, enrolled, working out with the team for that conference and everything. all of a sudden the next day he's wearing powder blue and red. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's wild. It's wild what's going on in the sport, and it's wild that no one's doing anything. And I think that it's sad. It really is, because it ruins the game, and it just ruins the integrity of our sport. We need to do something about this. So hopefully we do. Hopefully. But we'll see what happens with that situation. And hopefully this all made sense to you on this episode of Pigskin Frenzy, of just talking about tampering and what it does and how serious this is, right? Because it's serious. It can make or break a team. So that's tampering in college football. It's in the portal, and it needs to be fixed. So that's kind of like my little call out to the NCAA a little bit. So, hey, fix it. Please, just fix tampering and get rid of it. Or if you want to make it legal, add a structure to it and have like a window like the NFL does. Like I said, if college football is going to take an NFL approach, just let it go and just be kind of like the NFL in a semi-pro way if you're trying to have those models. So, with that being said, just do it, right? Like Nike says, just do it. That being said, tampering needs to be fixed. It's a huge problem. We need to get it solved. Guys, that's really all I got for Pigskin Frenzy today. Guys, a big thank you for taking some time out of your Tuesday to just sit back, watch, and listen to some college ball coverage presented by me. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, like this episode, leave comments down below. Spotify, Podbean, and Apple. All you got to do is just share around with others and follow on there as well. X on Instagram is at pigskin_frenzy. Follow all the pages there. The website's www.pigskinfrenzy.weebly.com. Guys, like I said, 6,500 listeners on Pigskin Frenzy. We're so thankful for you guys tuning in each and every Tuesday and Thursday. Guys, we're so thankful for 78,000 channel views on YouTube. Keep plugging in on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube as well. Not only that, we're so thankful for our Lord and Savior Jesus for giving us this platform to talk about college football, and not only that, just to spread his name across all platforms. We give him all the glory and all the praise. Guys, this coming up Thursday, we are talking about it. Probably going to be a little bit of a longer episode as well. We're talking about the 2026 transfer portal class, and we're going to recap the transfer portal on Thursday. I said we were going to do it, and we're doing it. I mean it this time. We're doing it. This Thursday, transfer portal recap. Who are the top names that signed where? Who are the top classes? Who really won the portal? Who kind of lost the portal? We're going to discuss all that on Thursday's Pigskin Frenzy. And until Thursday's Pigskin Frenzy, guys, I'm Joel Norris. We're signing off. We will see you then. Guys, for everybody out there, please and always, we love you all, praying for you all. Stay the course.